Welcome back. Well, you know the old saying that from that famous commercial, "Can you hear me now?" I think that's Stuart's saying, right? It should be.
Absolutely.
Welcome, sir.
Over and over again.
Great to have you here today, Stuart Spencer of
Thank
Advanced Air Care. And lots of stuff we're going to talk about today. And this is something, your first topic that you want to tell us about, that you're attending better speech understanding scores with new technology. So tell me about that. You rate how people are understanding speech by scoring system. Is that what that is?
That's right. Many times people are getting hearing instruments and they're not really getting measured for this.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, that's what you get and you're going to hear the way you hear. We really drive down into that, and we want to make sure we're maximizing, people's ability to understand speech clearly. Mm-hmm. Everybody comes to us and says, Stuart, I can hear people talking to me. I just don't get the words really clearly, right? So it's all about speech clarity. Mm-hmm. So with these new technologies, we're getting scores way up in the 90s, 92%, 96%. I mean, we test them before we even, for their speech understanding ability before we even test them. I just always say, let's just see how you're doing right now.
Yeah.
We either have their spouse or I'll read them a word list. They'll end up scoring like maybe 40%,
right,
52%.
Yeah.
We put the instruments on them. We retest them when they get their new instruments. They're like 92%, 96%. Wow. I mean, that's an amazing difference in somebody's life. And that's the bottom line. So they're hearing better in noisy situations. They're hearing softer spoken speech more clearly. I mean, this technology is working and it's really exciting.
And quite often, I don't know, you've told me this, that people are hearing things, but they're not understanding them well, especially in a crowded situation or soft-spoken speech.
That's right. So here's what happens.
That's not my case.
So here's what happens. If you have a hearing loss and I'm talking to you and we're having lunch together someplace, mm-hmm. you can be hearing me great, right? But inevitably you're going to catch a word that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You'll pick up a word like the word in, I-N.
Yeah.
And that's not right.
Right.
It just doesn't fit into context or make any sense. So you're looking right at me and you just stop listening to me. And just like that in our mind, we go right back to finish that word. So if you're talking about something narrow, maybe the word's thin. And if you're talking about the Bible, maybe the word's sin or skin or whatever.
Yeah.
And while you're doing that, what am I doing? You're still looking at me. I just keep right on talking. Yeah. You finally figure out it's the word thin. You focus on me, and that's about the time I say, right, Ken?
Yeah.
And you have no idea where to go with that.
And even, I'll even admit that sometimes watching certain things on TV, a lot of the flat screens, they're beautiful. The speakers are horrible, let's face it. Ours are a little bit better. We have an older one, but still, it's not the clearest all the time. And I even find that sometimes I'm like, okay.
Straining a little bit?
Yeah, straining a little bit. It's just because of, the way they're talking or whatever it might be. Or
it's great. Again, technology, right? All I have to do is I tap my hearing aid, and it connects right to my audio on my TV, and I hear it across the room right in my hearing aids wirelessly.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, and it's so clear, I really don't miss anything.
You know what's good with that too, and a lot of people may not think of this. Maybe you're running into the kitchen or you're cooking dinner or something.
Sure.
And Bluetooth will certainly go that far. Bluetooth will go 30 to in some cases even 100 feet, just depending. You could be walking in the kitchen getting something done and yet still hearing the news going on.
That's right.
Or whatever. So there's an advantage, even if your hearing isn't that poor, it can really help you out.
Yeah, people like to walk around the house, clean up a little bit, do this and that. Even I have a few people, that go outside and get their mail and they can still hear their TV programs. It's pretty neat.
I like that. Very good. All right, special event coming on this week. You have a gentleman coming by who's a national expert on hearing loss and hearing technologies.
Right. So John Lipman, he's been with us before. Incredible man. He's been in the business over 30 years. He travels nationally and does difficult fitting for hearing losses. There's a lot of tough cases out there. He can handle the normal stuff as well, but he's really good with people that do have the vision problems, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. He's just got a lot of good solutions for every kind of hearing loss that's out there. So it's just kind of, today, Wednesday and Thursday, he'll be with us. Honestly, it'll probably be kind of hard to get in to the office, but you can always call, and try to get an appointment.
Yeah.
We're kind of slammed with our schedule, but you know how people drop out or can't make it, that type of thing. we might be able to fit somebody in there. So it's always be worthwhile to give it a call. It'd be a great time. If you have hearing aids and you're struggling with them, or you've had hearing aids and or tried them and they haven't worked before, this is a guy that you'd probably want to see.
Okay, really good. Now, next thing we're going to talk about is something you may not associate with Stuart, a hearing guy, but this device is something brand new that can help out a lot of people. It's called OrCam My Eye, and you sent this over. And right before you got here today, I saw a brief video on this. Explain this. This is very interesting. And how did you get involved with it?
So, we're a very successful organization. People know us to be really good with fitting hearing products and working with seniors. So we get a pretty good reputation. We test a lot of different things in our office, whether it's new product, new technology, new devices. This is something that's just kind of out of the norm, right? OrCam is a device for people that have totally dark vision and can't see anything, or partial vision, macular degeneration, that type of thing, that can't really focus on things or see things in detail. So this is a little device they clip right on the bow of their glasses, or if they don't, of course, people totally dark don't wear glasses. There's glasses that they put on that they provide, and all they do is point to like an article and tap, and it'll read the article to them out loud.
Wow.
Now you couple that with our technology, it just goes to a whole new level. Because if they have hearing loss as well, it'll stream that audio right into their hearing aids, so they hear at their comfort level and they can really understand the speech clearly.
Yeah.
And these are people that can't see at all, or really have a hard time visualizing that kind of a text. It also has facial recognition. So if I'm looking at you, I can program it as Ken. So anytime you come in with my site, it'll say Ken is in front of you. It recognizes the dollar amounts differently.
Yeah.
People always fold their money different, so they know which bill it is, a 10, a 1, or a 5, or a 20. But when they get the change back, it's not folded. So this can scan that and say you have a 20, you have a 5, and you have a 10. And so you're getting the right change. So
this is amazing. When was this developed?
I don't know how far back it goes. I really don't know the detail about it. I just know we're asked to do this. So we have a demonstration model now in our office, and we'll be promoting that. So if anybody has any kind of issue at all.
We have a picture of it on here. I want to know, how did you get involved?
So our corporate people in Minneapolis saw these people at a technology event. They were awarded, some kind of award for their best technology. We were awarded for our best technology with the new VIA AI, hearing systems, the first artificial intelligence hearing systems. So these two started talking at that event, and they said, hey, let's try and see if we can marry this. So that's when they incorporated the Bluetooth streaming from their device to our hearing aids. And so the whole thing just flows very naturally. It was just kind of a nice combination.
That is incredible.
It is incredible.
Be interesting to see this once if you ever bring it by. And
yeah, it'd be fun to do.
Are there anything listed yet on what they're going to retail for, how people would get them, or is this right now just kind of in the...
You know what? No, I can tell you. There's one called My Reader, which just simply reads the text, which is $3,500.
Okay.
And then the My Eye, that does all the other things, the barcode scanning and all that, the facial recognition, is $4,500.
Okay, which for somebody who,
oh my gosh,
this would help, is not much at all. And let's face it, a couple years from now it'll be half that price as technology goes.
The one lady I presented it to in our office just started crying. She says, you know what, I can read my Bible again.
Yeah.
And hear it. I was like, wow. And it was pretty amazing.
That's incredible.
Yeah. She hooked one up that day.
Yeah, worth every penny for folks like that. Now, Worth Every Penny is the culmination of months and years of the center being done. God. And you have your sign up now. People can identify you.
That's right. So it's an awesome sign, So, as along with the city, I don't know how many city folks are here, but so they wouldn't let us have the sign that we had on this side that kind of faces all these. So just this side. So we made it big so everybody could see it. So, hearing aids, advanced hearing care.
Yeah.
I mean, that Bubby is going to light up, that host center at night. So it's going to look awesome. So we're plugged in, or we're getting the electrical to it this week. So it should look really fantastic. So if you're driving by there on Moulton, look over in the center and you'll see us there. It's really exciting. We're glad to have all this done. The center looks really great. It's all filling up. All the build outs are almost done. Century 21's in there. Some other people are in there. So it's going to fill up quickly. So then we can start complaining about parking, right?
Yeah. No, it's great. It's really, although it's physically taken a couple years, I want to say as long as I've known you, it's taken like 10 years because really, I can remember all those years ago, you're just talking about, yeah, I think they're going to do something. I think they're going to do something.
That's right. And look, they tore down that whole old bank, and then built a coffee, tea, and coffee bean and leaf or whatever that is.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was 6 years ago. So it's been a long process. We're happy to have it done. So.
All right. Fantastic. Always good to see you, sir.
Likewise, Ken.
Yeah, maybe you'll bring by that eye device one day, the My Eye. And,
maybe I'll bring it next month.
That'd be interesting. I
That'd be
can
fun to
maybe
see.
recognize you then.
Yeah.
Who is this? Oh, it's Stuart. I'm horrible with names. Great with faces, but I'm like, I know that person, but...
Yeah, though, I understand.
All right.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be right back.